Intercity. Intercity trains are express services that aim to get the passenger from one major urban area to another at distances longer than what regional or commuter trains would travel. Generally, to be considered an intercity train, it must cover a distance of 50 kilometers. These trains often feature class-based accommodation, have toilets and food services, and are less frequently scheduled due to distance, but this varies between routes. The first intercity service was the Liverpool-Manchester Railway, which opened in 1830 as an alternative to stagecoaches, although the term intercity rail was not coined until 1966 by British Rail. After this, the concept spread around Europe and was quickly followed by Germany's IC network in 1971, which introduced classes and operated under the motto Jede Stunde, jede Klasse, meaning, I don't speak German. High speed. High-speed trains are essentially any passenger train that can exceed a speed of 200 to 250 km an hour depending on the country. These trains operate on special tracks that are designed to handle higher speeds, such as extending curves and minimizing grade changes. These types of trains are mostly intercity trains and are offered as viable alternatives to flying. They also come with a decent carbon footprint due to the fact that pretty much every high-speed system is electrified. The first high-speed train was Japan's original Shinkansen, which started operation in 1964 and connected Tokyo and Osaka. Other notable systems include Germany's ICE, Spain's AVE, and France's TGV, which currently holds the conventional high-speed train record of 574.8 km an hour. Unsurprisingly, China currently operates the world's largest high-speed network. Regional. Regional railways aim to connect towns with smaller urban centres in a specific region and cover distances not met by suburban rail. These trains operate at moderate speeds but can cover high distances, with most regional lines being anywhere between 50 to 200 km in distance and have more frequent stops than intercity services. Regional rolling stock is generally designed for medium distances and have daily schedules that are consistent throughout the day and not affected by the peak and off-peak. These railways can be thought of as somewhere in between suburban rail and intercity rail. The Stockton and Darlington regional line in the UK is considered to be one of the first, as well as the Granite Railway in Massachusetts, which laid the groundwork for the regional network in the state. Other notable examples are France's TER network and Germany's Deutsche Bahn. Interestingly, in the United States, the term is often used interchangeably with suburban railway, largely because distinguishing between different types of rail networks would require having more than 4 of them. Suburban. Suburban trains or commuter trains operate in greater urban areas and are primarily designed to connect the home and the workplace by connecting commuter towns and suburbs to a city's CBD. They often operate specialized rolling stock that are designed for quick acceleration and deceleration, which is needed due to the higher frequency of stops. These trains often have greater frequency than intercity and regional trains. For example, in Sydney, trains operate every 5 to 10 minutes on peak and every 15 minutes off peak. Compared to metro services, these systems often have more spread out stops and can operate on shared rail. The London Greenwich Railway was largely considered to be one of the first suburban rail lines. Other notable examples include Paris and Mumbai's commuter trains. Metro. Otherwise known as my favorite type of passenger rail, metros are designed to operate in core, densely populated urban areas. In fact, the word metro comes from the French métropolitain, meaning the central city. Given their proximity to dense places and the need for efficiency, metro systems are grade separated and do not share tracks. These trains are extremely frequent, often aiming for frequencies of around 2 to 5 minutes between trains on peak, which is in part allowed by many metro systems across the world being converted to autonomous rail and having been designed for efficient movement of passengers over comfort. Stations are often placed close together and in central areas such as high streets. Notable examples include the New York subway, the Tokyo Metro, and the Paris Metro. However, the first metro system was the London Underground, which opened in 1863. It initially operated using steam before making the transition to smog in 1890. Trams. Trams, also known as streetcars or trolleys, are a form of public transport that operates on embedded tracks within city streets and are built to work in tandem with other vehicles and pedestrians. They feature small, often single or double carriage rolling stock and very short distances between stops, similar to light rail. They were one of the first forms of public transport to become widely adopted and is still widely used today, especially in European cities. Nowadays, most trams are electrified, but in the past, streets were dominated by steam-powered and horse-drawn carriages. The first European tram system opened in 1807 in Swansea, Wales, and entered the United States with the New York City streetcar system in 1832. The very first electric tramway opened in 1881 in Berlin. Other famous examples include Melbourne, San Francisco, and Lisbon. Light rail. Light rail is a term used to describe passenger rail that operates on a combination of exclusive tracks and shared roadways in urban areas. It operates as an immediate solution to heavy rail systems like metro and offers a balance of speed, efficiency, and capacity. The concept originated in the late 20th century off the back of tram cities wanting to modernize due to growing transport demands and was designed to use existing tram infrastructure. Light rail is electric, light, maneuverable, and has a low footprint when compared to heavy rail. Compared to trams, light rail is usually faster and has a much higher capacity. The first example was was the Stadtbahn, which was built in multiple German cities in the late 60s and early 70s. And other notable systems include Portland's Max Light Rail, the Calgary Sea Train, the Manchester Metrolink, and the Sydney Light Rail. The pause was an abstract way to represent how slow it is. Monorail. Monorails are basically light rail that are guided and supported by a singular beam that is either above or below the carriage. These systems are typically above ground level, which reduces the need for land acquisition and minimizes interference with existing infrastructure. Although not as popular as other forms of public transport, in densely populated and hilly areas such as Chongqing in China, these systems are very useful. The term monorail was officially coined by Jürgen Langen, who developed the modern concept of the monorail in 1897. However, the first single-track rail was built in 1824 in Deptford Dockyard in London. Beginning to sense a little bit of a trend here. Other examples of monorail systems are the Tokyo Monorail, the Seattle Center Monorail, and the Sydney Monorail. May God rest its soul. Maglev. Maglev, which stands for magnetic levitation, uses strong magnetic forces in order to lift and propel the train. One set of magnets on the bottom of the train to lift it, and one set of magnets on the side of the train. The same magnetic poles push the train, and opposing poles pull the train backwards. Maglev uses specially designed track that doesn't rely on physical contact and reduces friction, which results in extremely high-speed travel, less noise, and significantly improved gradient handling. The concept of maglev was developed in 1934 by Hermann Kemper in Germany, and the first passenger maglev service was opened in 1984 in Birmingham, England, and ran slowly between Birmingham Airport and Birmingham International Station, but closed in 1995. It was only a concept after all. Other examples include the Shanghai Maglev, which has been operational since 2004 and can hit speeds of up to 431 km an hour, and the Chuo Shinkansen, a Japanese superconducting maglev train that is currently in development, which will run between Tokyo and Nagoya. The prototype for this train currently holds the speed record for any crude train at 603 km an hour. Okay, that's it. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching, like, and subscribe. I know this is kind of different from what I usually make, but I watched one of these videos and I'm like, this kind of looks fun to make. But yeah, train merch coming soon. Okay, bye.